I can't sit up here and tell you who's going to make this playoff, but, and I have a big but, here's what I can tell you and assure you on. Craziness is going to ensue in 2023. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's going to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, finally, the week is over, the weekend is here. Hope you had a great week, and if not, I hope this video can make it a little bit better. And I'm so happy to say this because I feel like I haven't said this since college football season. We got a jam-packed video for your Friday night. We got not one, not two, not three, but four. Yes, that's right, you heard me correctly. 4 topics to speak on and go over. And matter of fact, now that I think about it, I can't even remember the last time we had 3 topics in one video. But the fact we got 4, I'm just so ecstatic to get into it. And oh yeah, by the way, 50 days until Alabama kicks off. We are 50 days away until week 1, man. I'm excited. But let's lock in. Let's get down to business. The main topic we're going to talk about, though, is the college football playoff. As we all know, this is the last and final year of the 14 playoff until we go to 12 teams. And it's been good up until this point, but also, and you'll see what I'm talking about later in this video, or really in a couple of minutes, I think this is about to be the craziest playoff up until this date. We're going to talk all about that, but also Tennessee has been fined $8 million. And it's being stated that the $8 million fine is the largest ever levied in an infractions case. And guess how many infractions Tennessee had? 200. Also, another thing we're going to speak on, and I just got tagged on this on Instagram. Thank you to Donovan. Yeah, he sent me this. Big shout out to you, Donovan. You're always sending me great stuff. So check this out. Some Florida State fans, not football players, some fans, have recently broken into Florida's training facility. And you know what they did? They stole Florida football gear. As to why they did this, I don't know. I think it goes without being said. We got a lot to go over. All right, Matt, blah, blah, shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, I say we start out with this Florida situation first. You're going to get my live reaction to this because I was just sent this. I think it's interesting, so let's check it out together. So in the caption right here, it says, FSU fans really broke into Florida's training facility and stole football gear. University of Florida Police Department officers are searching for individuals who say they burglarized a Florida athletic center on July 8th. Officers say that at approximately 2 a.m. last Saturday, 4 identified subjects burglarized the Heavener Football Training Center on Stadium Road. They say that subjects stole a significant amount of property and merchandise related to the UF, which is Florida Athletic Association, such as football equipment and apparel. Officers asked that anyone with information on the identity of the subjects contact these authorities. And then we got some pictures right here. Wait a minute. Okay, yeah, you can zoom in. Yeah, they're definitely wearing Florida State gear. Looks like a couple of frat dudes at the front, and then in the back you got 2 dudes wearing the Pooh Shiesty mask. I ain't gonna hold y'all, anyone wearing a Pooh Shiesty mask looks suspicioso to me. And then, wait a minute, what the crap in this third picture? Dude trying it on like it's a fitting room. What the crap? No, that's crazy. Going into a facility, stealing their gear, and walking out with it on. It looks like bro's just taking an official visit or something. What is going on? Now, here's my question. Should I even be shocked by this? This is typical Florida behavior. And when I say Florida, I'm talking about the entire state in general. People in Florida, they're just different. If you know, and I'll leave it at that. But here's my question. If y'all are Florida State fans, or these are alleged to be Florida State fans, why are they stealing Florida football gear? Why do you care that much? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that. Our next topic we're going to get into is this Tennessee situation. I'm not going to talk about it too long because there's really not too much to say. As we all know, Tennessee, they've been dealing with some allegations, and they've actually been self-imposing their own, not bans, but they've been ratting on themselves pretty much. What I'm trying to say is, in colleges do this all the time where they find out, oh, they actually violated the rules, they'll report themselves so they don't get some harsh punishment. And that's what Tennessee's been doing the past couple of years, and it hasn't been nothing too major. Today, though, the news came out that Tennessee will not be facing a bowl ban. Instead, they're going to be fined $8 million. And to make an extremely long story short, I'm going to show you this right here, and this is all you need to see. Among the penalties handed down, Tennessee has been placed on a 5-year probation, was given an $8 million fine, and will see a total reduction of 28 scholarships. The school is credited for its self-imposed 16 scholarship reduction over the past 2 seasons. The $8 million fine is believed to be the largest ever levied in an infractions case. And there's been a lot of people in the comments say, how in the crap do you avoid a bowl ban with over 200 infractions? And I really don't want to spend too much time on this because it's rather simple. these 200 or so infractions, they're not serious. Or they are serious, but what I'm trying to say is they're not like big time infractions. They're all very small. So I'm going to leave it up to you guys. Let me know in the comment section. Do you think Tennessee should have faced a harsher punishment, or is this pretty good? Me personally, I'm cool with this because I don't like bowl bans. Why penalize the new players that had nothing to do with anything? I've never understood why would you punish the new players and the new coaching staff. I don't like it, but I assume they do it to send a message. It is what it is. Moving along here to a third topic before we get into the final topic, check this out. Saw this on Twitter today. If you had a choice to take $100,000 in cash or spend the day with Nick Saban and listen to stories and get advice, which would you take? Thought this was an interesting question because in life, yeah, it's better to not eat a fish, but to learn how to fish. You know how that saying goes. You give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. You teach him how to fish, he'll eat the rest of his life. Something like that at least, and it's the same principle here. Sometimes gaining knowledge is more important than money. Because if you give somebody $200, well, yeah, they get $200 that day, but if you teach them how to make $200, that's a different story. They can multiply their money. Same situation here. Me personally, I'm taking $100K in cash, and honestly, I think if you went to dinner with Nick Saban and you're like, hey, can I have some financial advice? He would have told you to take the $100K in cash. I'm sure I could learn some stuff from Nick Saban, but I've already heard a bunch of his stories for free. I don't think I need to sit down and have a dinner with him. My point is, I don't think I'm going to gain $100,000 worth of knowledge from Nick Saban in one day. But I do want to share that with y'all because I also found that interesting. But now finally moving on to the main topic of the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we got to talk about the playoff. Woo! Okay, so check this out. Let's just get straight into it. I was tagged on this on Twitter, I think 2 or 3 times. A list, somebody made a list of the college football teams that have a real shot at the playoff berth, or a playoff berth, my apologies, in 2023. And normally, and y'all know this, normally when we take a look at these lists, they're awful and I go on a rant and tangent. However, though, this list is pretty dang solid. Michigan, Alabama, Clemson, USC, Georgia, Tennessee, Penn State, Washington, Ohio State, Utah, LSU, Florida State, Cinnamon Rolls, Texas, and Oregon. I like this list. Whoever made it, you did an excellent job, except for Washington. I can't put them in there. I'll give Oregon and Utah the benefit of the doubt out of the Pac-12, but Washington? Come on, man. I can't put them in there. I don't think they have a quote-unquote real shot at making the playoff. I just don't. But outside of that, all these other teams, I can get down with, and let's talk about it. We talked about this about a month or two ago. Remember when I was like, hey, man, I think this last year, the 14 playoff, and in 2023, you're going to see more parity at the top of college football. College football does have parity when it comes to your good, average, and even your bad teams. Because you can see a bad team beat a good team, but you're never going to see a bad team beat a great team like a Alabama or Georgia. It's just not going to happen. They don't have enough talent. And all in all, when you look at the 14 playoffs since 2014, it's pretty much the same 5 to 6 teams getting in it and competing against each other every single year. But, and I have a big but, this year's going to be different. Piggybacking off of what we said a month ago and going hand in hand with this list, yes, I do believe you're actually going to have about 10 to possibly at max 13 teams competing for that playoff spot or playoff spots. But let's break this down step by step. This is a cold hard fact. We know for certain Michigan, Ohio State, Bama, and Georgia, they're going to be there. They're going to be in contention. All 4 of those teams have made the playoffs multiple times the past couple of years. But take a look at this. Tennessee, based off of what they did last year, heck yeah, we can throw them in the conversation. I don't think anybody's got a problem with that. Same thing for LSU. They definitely have a shot at going to the playoff. Heck, some people would say they're the favorite to win the SEC West. They're going to be there, and as piss poor as the ACC is, that's the advantage for Clemson. Nobody can compete with them, so yeah, they got a shot at making the playoff. They're the best team in the ACC, and it's not even that close. Let's take a look at the Big 12. Unfortunately, I do believe this. You only got one team that's got a real shot, and that is Texas. I can't throw Oklahoma in there, especially with what happened last year. But Texas, yeah, we saw them almost upset Alabama last year. The Big 12 isn't necessarily that hard of a conference. They can make it. They got the talent to make it. Nobody's going to argue against that. So that's your SEC schools we just went over, your Big 10 schools, ACC, and Big 12. Oh, wait a minute. My bad. I said Clemson is the best team in the ACC. No. We got Florida State. I forgot about the Cinnamon Rolls. Yeah, they go hand in hand. Florida State, they're super talented. Everybody's high on them. Me personally, I'm not really high on them, but I think they can be good. Yeah, I'll throw them in the conversation. Let's take a look at the Pac-12. Yeah, they've been atrocious the past 6 to 8 years, but they're no longer the worst conference in the Power 5. That's the ACC. Pac-12, from top to bottom, is arguably a top 3 conference. USC with Lincoln Riley and Caleb Williams, they're going to contend for the playoff. They almost made it last year. Utah is a physical team that beat USC, and Oregon, they got Bo Picks coming back. And last but not least, Penn State got no problem with this whatsoever. Unfortunately, they do got to play Ohio State and Michigan. But here's the thing with that. If they just beat one of those teams and go 11-1, can you keep out an 11-1 Penn State team that beat a top 5 team? I don't know. That'd be an interesting conversation. So all they really got to do is against Michigan and Ohio State. They don't got to beat both of them. Just beat one of them. I say all that to say this. When have we ever had a conversation like this heading into a season? When have we ever sat up here and said, man, I think 12 teams got a chance of making this playoff? Never. Never, 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 never. It's always at max 8 teams. But heading into 2023, there's so much uncertainty at the top of college football, and that's rare. Look at 3 of your 4 top teams. Alabama, Georgia, and Ohio State. They all have new starting quarterbacks. What if the starter does bad? What if their new quarterback blows them a game? Well, that's going to open up the door for teams like Oregon, Utah, or Tennessee, somebody else. I can't sit up here and tell you who's going to make this playoff, but, and I have a big but, here's what I can tell you and assure you on. Craziness is going to ensue in 2023. No ifs, ands, or buts. It's going to happen. I promise it. If it doesn't happen, well, it ain't no argument. It is going to happen. It will happen. And low-key, this is why I'm excited for the 12-team playoff, because I just want to see some new teams get in. I'm tired of seeing the same old Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Clemson, and all the other teams. And man, oh man, don't even get me started on this. When we expand this thing to 12 teams, shoot. You're going to have at least 20 teams fighting for those 12 spots. It's going to be cool, man. I can't wait. I'm excited. Let me know your thoughts down below about that.